videos with tens of millions of views collectively, you know, claiming I called a guy Delaware.
I obviously did not know who Shadman was. I've never spoken with Shadman.
To the people like trying to call me evil and say we fake philanthropy. The only reason anyone even knows any of this, obviously people don't want to work with a charity that's not legit, which Beast Philanthropy is as legit as it gets. I would tell teenage me, hey, you're supposed to do background checks.
The YouTube world has been buzzing with whispers and accusations, and MrBeast, once celebrated as the platform's golden child, is now at the center of it all. Allegations ranging from hiring a registered sex offender to running illegal lotteries and even faking his videos have painted a shocking picture. For months, his silence only added fuel to the fire, leaving fans and critics alike wondering if the allegations might hold some truth. But now, the wait is over. In a 2.5-hour tell-all interview with commentary YouTuber Oily, MrBeast finally spoke out, addressing the controversies that have tarnished his reputation. What followed wasn't just a defense of his actions, it was a roller coaster of revelations, personal regrets, and jaw-dropping claims that no one saw coming. One of the more creative allegations aimed at MrBeast centers around claims that he uses CGI to stage or embellish his videos, leading some critics to accuse him of misleading his audience. A particularly striking example involves a video where MrBeast showcased a newly built hospital, with detractors alleging the structure was digitally edited to give the illusion that he had constructed it from scratch. When asked about these claims during his interview, MrBeast firmly denied any intent to deceive his viewers. He acknowledged the use of CGI in his content, but emphasized that it was solely for visual enhancements to elevate the production quality.
Honestly, truthful, dumb mistake. At the start of one of our Beast Philanthropy videos, they were trying to show what this like building looked like in the past, and in the past that hospital wasn't there, so they removed it in the editing. Which and this was just like a small part of this isn't even like the point of the video was that we built this hospital or whatever. There was just a shot at the beginning, but some people saw that and like thought we did build it, which is not the intention, and so it's just a dumb mistake.
To further dismantle the accusations, MrBeast pointed out that large-scale projects, such as building hospitals and schools, involve hundreds of people and are often monitored by third parties.
I mean, we just don't really use it that much. It's just like a thing few and far between, but what I really don't want is people to not be able to trust my videos just because occasionally I want to make a wall blacker or like I want to extend a set a little bit just to make it look cooler and like you feel in tune with.
Despite his clarifications, critics continue to analyze his videos, frame by frame, often highlighting minor inconsistencies or perceived flaws to fuel allegations of dishonesty. While these claims occasionally spark heated debates online, many fans and collaborators have come to MrBeast's defense, arguing that the sheer scale of his philanthropy speaks louder than any conspiracy theories. Through his interview, MrBeast directly addressed the CGI accusations, offering transparency and context to the creative choices behind his content. However, his response has not fully satisfied skeptics, leaving the door open for ongoing debates about the authenticity of his projects. This controversy underscores a broader challenge MrBeast faces as one of the most watched creators on the platform, navigating public scrutiny while maintaining the trust of a massive global audience. As his projects grow larger and more ambitious, it seems likely that these criticisms will persist, even as he continues to push boundaries in the world of online entertainment and philanthropy. MrBeast has never shied away from transparency, even when facing intense scrutiny. In his interview, he openly admitted to occasionally using CGI in his videos, but only for minor, non-deceptive enhancements. These adjustments, he explained, are solely intended to improve the visual quality and not to mislead viewers.
Now, truthfully, that channel is struggling to get brand deals because of all the slander on it, because everyone, you know, has convinced advertisers that the videos are fake and that it doesn't actually do philanthropy. And it's like, it does. And just like one little editing mistake on one of dozens of videos. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate because it's actually having a pretty severe impact on the charity and its image. And like, I don't know, just unfortunate.
To reinforce trust among his audience, MrBeast shared plans to increase transparency regarding CGI usage in his videos. He is considering adding timestamps in the descriptions to mark CGI-enhanced scenes, or overlaying a special Beast logo on such shots.
This is the first time I'm saying it publicly, like timestamping in the description when we do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, or like having some like gimmicky thing where like whatever we do, we like put like a little Beast logo on it, so it's like a thing that if people wanted to identify, they could. I mean, I I'm down to figure something out. I mean, we just don't really use it that much. It's just like a thing few and far between. But what I really don't want is people to not be able to trust my videos.
One incident that sparked controversy involved a Beast philanthropy video showcasing a hospital. Critics alleged that the before footage, which showed an empty lot, was digitally altered to erase an existing hospital, implying MrBeast had built the facility from scratch. MrBeast addressed this issue head-on, admitting it was an editing error rather than an attempt to mislead viewers.
Started one of our Beast philanthropy videos. They were trying to show what this like building looked like in the past, and in the past that hospital wasn't there, so they removed it in the editing. Which and this is just like a small part of this isn't even like the point of the video was that we built this hospital or whatever. There was just a shot at the beginning, but some people saw that and like thought we did build it, which is not the intention, and so it's just a dumb mistake.
The editing mishap, while unfortunate, only came to light because MrBeast's team released a behind-the-scenes video that revealed the editing process.
Philanthropy does so much good, and like that, you know what's the only reason people. This is what's funny, because like to the people like trying to call me evil and say we fake philanthropy, the only reason anyone even knows any of this is because we actually did a behind the scenes video on that video. So like clearly I wasn't aware of this because we did BTS and we were the ones who revealed this information. You know what I mean? So like if we were trying to hide things, like we wouldn't have done BTS on that video. That's how people got this information.
Despite these explanations, critics have continued to use the error to question the integrity of MrBeast's philanthropic efforts. However, supporters argue that the willingness to show behind-the-scenes content is evidence of his transparency and commitment to authenticity. This candid acknowledgement of errors, coupled with a proactive approach to addressing concerns, highlights MrBeast's dedication to maintaining the trust of his audience, even as his projects and impact continue to grow. The ripple effects of the hospital controversy have hit Beast philanthropy hard, threatening its ability to sustain impactful projects. MrBeast expressed his frustration over how this misunderstanding has cast doubt on a channel dedicated entirely to nonprofit work, emphasizing the real-world difference it has made in countless lives.
If we get like a $400,000 brand deal plus the ad revenue from the video, we can like spend all that money on like, you know, buying shirts for, you know, homeless people or whatever it is. But hopefully like people just kind of stop slandering you. You can attack me, just don't attack the channel that's literally a 501c3. Like that'd be nice, to be honest.
MrBeast detailed the challenges of navigating this backlash, explaining how misinformation can erode trust, even when the evidence of their work is irrefutable. Projects like building schools or providing electricity to remote villages rely heavily on support from brand deals, many of which have now become harder to secure. Despite the setbacks, MrBeast remains unwavering in his commitment to the channel's mission.
Spooked off a lot of people because they're like, oh, so this charity is not authentic. Because like obviously people don't want to work with a charity that's not legit, which Beast Philanthropy is as legit as it gets. Just one little editing mistake, which I get now. I'm sounding like I'm downplaying. I mean, it was just a mistake in editing. Doesn't discredit all the projects Beast Philanthropy has done around the world and the tens of thousands of lives it's changed. And I mean, yeah.
This segment of the interview not only highlighted MrBeast's frustration, but also underscored his determination to persevere. By taking accountability for past errors while defending the authenticity of his work, he showcased the integrity that has made Beast Philanthropy a force for good in the world. The Delaware controversy stands as one of the most explosive claims surrounding MrBeast's career, a moment that caused even his most loyal fans to question his actions. At the heart of the controversy is the accusation that MrBeast knowingly hired a registered sex offender, nicknamed him Delaware as an inside joke tied to his criminal history, and included him in his team. MrBeast, however, denied these allegations outright in his interview with Oompaville, calling them completely false. He explained that the individual's nickname, Delaware, had nothing to do with his criminal background.
I mean, videos with tens of millions of views collectively, you know, claiming I called a guy Delaware because he committed a crime in Delaware. Like, you know, that is not true. His name was just Delaware. I didn't, you know, call him Delaware to make fun of him or anything.
To support his defense, MrBeast provided evidence, including footage from an old video titled, "I gave $20,000 to random homeless people." In the clip, the man is seen wearing a Best Buy name tag with the name Delaware clearly printed on it proof. MrBeast argued that the nickname predated his employment. While this explanation seemed to clarify the nickname's origin, it didn't address the larger question. Why was someone with such a controversial background hired in the first place? This detail continues to fuel ongoing debates about MrBeast's hiring decisions and the responsibility he holds as a prominent public figure. MrBeast addressed the hiring decision during his interview, attributing it to his inexperience and the informal nature of his channel's operations at the time. He explained that the hiring took place when he was just 19 years old, a period when his YouTube channel had surpassed 1 million subscribers but was far from a professional enterprise.
I think what people are envisioning is completely different than what actually happened. Yes, I did hire him, but for the context around it, I hired him when I was 19, so I was a teenager, and this is kind of leans a little bit into what we were talking before. This is back when it was just a couple of my friends from high school, my mom. My videos were getting bigger. I needed more help, and so I walked in because I'm dumb. Like, I probably should have gone on some site and hired people who had production experience, but instead, I walked into my local Best Buy, and I just hired multiple people. Obviously, when I was a teenager, I didn't know what a background check was, and I just hired a couple people there that wanted to help me make videos. One of them was the person named Delaware.
According to MrBeast, no background checks were conducted, and oversight he admitted was naive but unintentional. This casual approach to hiring, he argued, stemmed from the small-scale nature of his channel at the time and his limited understanding of professional business practices. Despite his explanation, the public's response has been far from forgiving. Critics argue that his defense, while illuminating, sidesteps the severity of hiring someone with a criminal past, especially given his large, younger audience. The lack of due diligence has sparked widespread concern about the safety and ethics of such hiring decisions, even if they were made during his channel's early days. Additionally, many feel that MrBeast's casual tone in addressing the issue minimizes the gravity of the situation. By framing it as a youthful mistake, he has left lingering questions about his judgment and accountability as a creator with immense influence. The controversy continues to fuel debates over the responsibilities that come with having such a massive platform, particularly one that caters to impressionable viewers. The Delaware controversy took another twist when former team member Jake the Viking claimed that MrBeast and his mother were fully aware of Delaware's criminal background before hiring him. This allegation, shared in a now viral tweet, reignited public outrage and put additional pressure on MrBeast to clarify the situation. During his interview, MrBeast categorically denied Jake's accusation, stating,
No, I did not know he was a registered sex offender. There's a rumor that's gone around that said that he sat me and my mom down and told us. Obviously, I don't remember that happening. And when I read that tweet, the first thing I did was I called my mom and I was like, hey, this is like 7 or 8 years ago. Just put this in context. 7 or 8 years ago, not indicative of my company today, but I was like, did this happen? Because someone's claiming this happened. My mom said, I would have literally quit or honestly probably shut the business down before I ever let my teenage son hire a registered sex offender knowingly, which I have a very protective mom, so.
The denial was reinforced by his mother's alleged response, which painted a clear picture of how implausible such an accusation would have been. However, MrBeast didn't shy away from admitting fault in the hiring process, acknowledging the lack of professionalism during his channel's early days.
I take accountability. Yes, if I could go back in time, I would tell teenage me, hey, you're supposed to do background checks. 19-year-old me, he stared at retention charts all day. He obsessed over YouTube videos. He didn't know anything about running a business.
While MrBeast's transparency and acknowledgement of responsibility helped calm some of the outrage, the incident raised larger questions about accountability and trust within his organization. His candidness about the mistakes of his past was a step toward rebuilding his reputation. But for many critics, the damage had already been done. Even with Delaware's issue seemingly put to rest, it became clear that MrBeast's challenges extended beyond this singular controversy. As more allegations surfaced, it was evident that his team's rapid growth and informal operations during his early career had left a trail of questionable decisions, creating a complex legacy for the YouTube titan to confront. Among the numerous allegations MrBeast has faced, one of the more technical but damaging claims stemmed from YouTuber CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla raised concerns about alleged shady crypto dealings tied to a wallet reportedly associated with MrBeast. The investigation suggested possible insider trading, pointing to specific transactions that raised red flags within the crypto community. Addressing the controversy in his interview, MrBeast refuted the allegations, clarifying that the wallet in question was not directly managed by him. Instead, he explained, he had entrusted the handling of all cryptocurrency transactions to a professional crypto fund. This delegation, he noted, was a deliberate choice due to his packed schedule and limited expertise in the volatile world of cryptocurrency.
The gist of this report was Jimmy is too stupid to like make this kind of money, therefore it must be insider trading. This is his wallet. Clearly there was insider trading because he never would have been able to make this kind of money. When in reality, which is what I told Coffee in that statement we gave him, it was managed by a fund. So I wasn't the one managing the wallet. I've never had access to that wallet. I've never done the buying and selling on that wallet. There's a actual professional who's written books on crypto and lived and breathes crypto every second of the day managing it. So most of the allegations there are just answered by I am too stupid to do that. That's why a fund was managing it. You know what I mean?
To back his claims, MrBeast highlighted the sheer volume of transactions tied to the wallet, thousands in total, as evidence that he wasn't manually managing it. He also pointed out that many trades were executed while he was preoccupied with video shoots or traveling, rendering it physically impossible for him to oversee them in real time. He added, emphasizing his detachment from the day-to-day operations of the wallet.
So for the conspiracy theorists that think I'm lying and using the fund as a cover-up, there's got to be some way where you could just figure that out, or I was on a plane ride or something.
However, critics quickly dissected his defense, pointing out a potential contradiction. On a prior podcast with Logan Paul, MrBeast described an incident where Gary Vee, a prominent entrepreneur, had tipped him off about the value of CryptoPunk's NFTs. MrBeast admitted that he relayed this information to his fund manager, who subsequently made the investment decisions.
Gary Vee, like I said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said CryptoPunks were the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy, but the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money and it's other people's money as well, and just said, hey, Gary Vee seemed very passionate about these punks. You should look into it. If it makes sense, buy it. And so, he did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. I don't even truthfully know how to buy punks. I've never bought one, me personally.
While this account supports his claim of not directly managing the crypto wallet, critics argue that suggesting investments inherently gives him a degree of influence over the trades. This nuance muddies the waters, as skeptics feel it blurs the line between delegating responsibility and actively shaping investment outcomes. The crypto controversy remains a point of contention for many, with fans and critics alike debating the ethics of MrBeast's involvement. While his explanation provides transparency regarding his lack of direct management, the acknowledgement of indirectly influencing some investments has left room for doubt. As MrBeast continues to defend his actions, this incident underscores the complexities of running a multi-million-dollar operation while trying to maintain the trust of a vast online audience. Whether his statements will be enough to appease critics remains uncertain, but it's clear that even the most seemingly minor controversies can spiral into major challenges when you're a public figure of his magnitude. One of the more peculiar controversies surrounding MrBeast involves a poster created by the infamous artist Shadman, known for his highly controversial and explicit work. The poster in question, depicting a cartoon girl holding a fidget spinner and a gun, was allegedly hung in MrBeast's home by Chris Tyson, a former close collaborator and roommate. During his interview, MrBeast was quick to clarify his stance, stating that he had no idea who Shadman was at the time.
I used to have a bunch of anime posters up on the wall. I'm just set a foundation for context. We used to have a bunch of anime posters and things like that on our wall in the house. And one day, Ava put up this poster that was an animated character holding a fidget spinner and a gun. Admittedly, it was a weird image. I didn't know who made it. I also think I had Naruto posters up, or I had Code Geass posters, random animes I used to watch. And I never reversed image search and Googled, oh, who made this Code Geass anime poster that's sitting on the wall or whatever. I don't, I don't, your first instincts when you just see a poster is not to just go, who made that, and deep dive them. So
He went on to admit that with hindsight, the poster's origin is problematic and something he wouldn't have allowed if he had known more.
I just kind of assumed it was a meme. I obviously did not know who Shadman was. I've never spoken with Shadman. I did not buy the poster or commission it or anything. Exactly. So, but yeah, I agree. It's her buying it is very weird. And I obviously, if I had known what I know now, I would have been like, what the actual fuck?
However, critics were quick to question his claims of ignorance, pointing out that MrBeast had previously interacted with Shadman on Twitter. While the interactions were minimal, skeptics argued that it cast doubt on his unawareness of the artist's reputation. In response, MrBeast emphasized that any prior engagement with Shadman was superficial and did not indicate familiarity with the artist's controversial work. Jake Wedd, a former contestant on MrBeast's solitary confinement challenge, sparked controversy by describing the conditions as inhumane and even likening them to war crimes. The challenge tasked Jake with staying in a padded room for as long as possible, earning $10,000 for each day he endured. However, his sharp criticism painted a grim picture of the experience. MrBeast wasted no time addressing these claims, offering clarity on the challenge's design and intent. He described the room as equipped with amenities like a bed, a pool table, and other basic necessities to ensure comfort, despite the psychological test it posed.
The challenge was every day you live in this room, you win $10,000. And then it was like kind of like a white padded room. There's like a pool table, a bed in there, bunch of other items, blah, blah. And one of these variables of these challenges, which is why we give people the ability to quit, you know what I mean, or to leave at any point.
While acknowledging the difficulty of such challenges, MrBeast emphasized that individual reactions vary widely. He pointed to his 100-day isolation video, where participants like Bailey and Susie had the option to turn off the lights but declined, showing that the same conditions affect people differently.
You never know how someone's gonna react to something, right? It's impossible to fully predict, and so that's...
MrBeast's response highlights his willingness to accommodate participants and underscores the voluntary nature of his challenges, countering claims of unfair treatment. As Jake Wedd approached the 11th day of MrBeast's solitary confinement challenge, the psychological toll became evident. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, MrBeast's team took immediate action to prioritize Jake's well-being. They made adjustments by turning off the lights, a key source of Jake's discomfort, and brought in a psychiatrist to assess his condition. Ultimately, the challenge was cut short, with Jake walking away with $110,000 for the days he participated.
He was struggling, and so we did turn off the lights. We sent a psychiatrist in there to check in on him, and we were like, yeah, he's not doing too well, and we ended the challenge, and we paid him. Didn't go long enough where we got a video, so we didn't end up uploading it.
Because the challenge ended sooner than planned, the footage was never uploaded, as it didn't meet the requirements for a full video. However, the story didn't end there. Months later, Jake shared his perspective on the experience in a dog pack video. After learning about Jake's continued struggles, MrBeast personally reached out to offer further support, sending Jake an additional $50,000 off camera to ease any lingering financial or emotional burden.
I didn't want to bring that kind of stuff up, but yeah, also off camera, after he made that video, I reached out and was like, hey man, like, obviously we weren't trying to cause you any, mental stress with that video or anything, and is there any way I can help? And I ended up, he seemed like he really needed some financial help, so I ended up sending him $50,000 completely off camera or anything. I mean, he talked about it publicly so people know, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure he was good.
This resolution highlights MrBeast's willingness to take responsibility and offer genuine support, even beyond the scope of his challenges. MrBeast's rise from a passionate YouTuber to a global brand has introduced a shift in how he handles controversies. What once felt like open, unscripted transparency now often appears polished and corporate, leaving some fans questioning the authenticity that initially drew them to his content. Cease and desist letters, third-party investigations, and carefully crafted public statements may protect the multi-million-dollar brand he's built, but they risk creating a divide between the business and the loyal audience who helped him grow. With great power comes great responsibility, and for MrBeast, the stakes are higher than ever. His massive influence, built on goodwill and generosity, means even the smallest misstep is magnified. While professionalism is necessary for such a large-scale operation, fans crave the honesty and relatability that made MrBeast a household name. Balancing corporate strategy with personal accountability could be the key to restoring trust and ensuring his reputation remains intact. Stay tuned for our upcoming deep dive, where we'll unpack the allegations, shift through the evidence, and explore why this situation is far more complex than it appears.